Because, you know, I passed 40 a couple of years ago, and so I have some experience that I can pass on to you, okay? Now, the first thing that I wanted you to understand is that you don't have to go through a midlife crisis. You don't have to. I never did, and the reason I didn't is because I understand the 4 stages of life. The 4 stages of life. Now, when you're watching this, I want you to just listen to me, okay? And let somebody else write this down, because now that you're 40, you can't do 2 things at one time. You got to listen or you got to write. So I want you to listen to me, all right? Because this is important stuff. Let somebody else write it down for you, all right? So you can remember it later. Because I know right now you probably, being 40, already killed about 10 trillion brain cells. But anyhow, the first stage of life is when you believe in Santa Claus. And that's kind of like when you're a little child and everything's happy and everything's carefree and you eat for free and you sleep for free and you live for free and mom and dad do everything, and it's a great time. So that's the first stage, when you believe in Santa Claus. Now the second stage is when you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. And that's a hard day when you discover that there's no Santa Claus, and it's just real hard. And so what I want you to understand is that that's the second stage, because it's kind of traumatic, and you've already been through that. And for me personally, it happened when it was about the same year that I stopped wetting the bed, and that was about 16 years old. And you know, I think that was about the same age that your brother Dan was when he, forget it, no, that's another story. Now, the third stage is when you are Santa Claus. When you actually are Santa Claus, you realize, well, I used to believe in Santa Claus, I don't believe in him anymore. Now I have to be Santa Claus for my children. And that's where you're at right now. You are Santa Claus. But now, the best understanding is the 4th stage of life, because most people never understand this. They never get it. And it causes them to go through this kind of like midlife crisis stuff, where they freak out. And you don't have to do that, okay? The 4th stage of life, if you understand this, you will have the understanding of Socrates and Aristotle. The 4th stage of life is when you start looking like Santa Claus. And man, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So just sit back, relax, take a deep breath. When that hair starts to fall out, it's okay. When the hair that's left turns white, it's okay. When that black hair that left your head starts to find its way down to other funky places, it's okay. It's just the 4th stage of life, okay? And 40 years old is about when it starts, all right? So I just understand it, accept it, take a deep breath, and enjoy life, okay? Looking like Santa Claus. Okay, now, the reason that I wanted to make this videotape is because, like I've said, I've been through the 40-year birthday, and it's the health problems that come. When you're 40 years old, your skin starts just doing stuff to you, and it starts itching like crazy, and you will itch from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. Now, for me, I went to the doctor because my feet were itching, and he told me that I had the athlete's foot fungus. And so he gave me some powder, and he said, Rusty, if you just put the powder on the feet every day, it'll go away. And so I went home, and I just kind of sprinkled a little stuff between my toes, and I rubbed it and massaged it every night. And after about a week, it went away. And so I thought, you know what? I'm smart. If my itching in my feet can go away, I know that the itching in my gums can go away. And I realized, even though I take care of my teeth, that I got the bad case of the gingivitis. And you know, maybe you don't know this, but if your dog has it, it's called the hydrophobia. But for humans, it's called the gingivitis. And it starts to itch, and so all I do when it starts to itch is I take some of my athlete's foot fungus powder and I just sprinkle a little bit on my teeth, and pretty soon I just kind of work it around with my tongue and stuff, and sometimes I use my finger, and all of a sudden it just goes away. So there's a tip for you, okay? If you start itching because you're 40, you use athlete's foot